CommonSensical Approach tip. Use common sense when choosing a format or layout for technical communication. Technical writing is very different from creative writing. It should always be straightforward, concise, and easy to understand. A good technical writer knows that just because the subject is technical or complicated does not mean the writing has to be. Let's look at a case study. This is an example of the Goldilocks dilemma. The document on the left is a typical example of a traditional paragraph format. The artifact on the right is using pictures to try to add to the story. Both of these are correct. Each one, when followed, will produce the same result. The left side, you end up reading several times over to figure out the steps. On the right one, you have these nice looking pictures, they even match, but they add zero value. We all know what mixing bowls and Ziploc bags look like. The one in the middle is a great example of just right documentation. Its purpose and audience were taken into consideration. This easy-to-follow design is coupled with information that is structured and visually pleasing. Let's talk about why. You can clearly see that information is grouped and separated. The what is needed has a grocery list feel to it. The steps for preparing and creating are clearly numbered, similar to a recipe. The steps are broken into two distinct sections or activities. This makes it clear that you need to mix the bowls separately before combining them. One of the most confusing parts about making flubber is the need for two distinct mixing bowls. You can see that bowl 1 and bowl 2 are identified in the very first sentence, and the font is bold. This helps the reader avoid making common mistakes of mixing in the same bowl. The teaching takeaway is placed at the bottom as a conclusion. It's not necessary to the creation, but it is important information to learn. So it is given the same level of importance by having a large header. It is introduced with a hook-type question, which makes the reader want to read on to get the answer. If your technical document will be a traditional paragraph-style document, like the Just Right Flubber example, then it follows these guidelines. The layout is clean. The font is legible and not fancy. The margins and the spacing make sense. White space is deliberate. It allows for note-taking or separates sections. Information is well organized. It has a flow and matches the purpose or intent. Sections or referenced items are clearly labeled. You should use the document styling like headings and the tables of content. If the document has more than one page, each page should have a header or footer with page numbers and a document title. It is to the point and does not include ancillary information. It also includes graphics, images, or samples that provide additional value or clarity. Technical documentation isn't about the document. It's about what will be produced from the information in the document. So use common sense to make good choices when formatting. To learn more about the CommonSensical Approach or CommonSensical Documentation, visit commonsensicalba.com.